Hello everyone, this is White Wolf, and I wanted to make this video and really connect with you guys and talk about how everything is constantly shifting in the direction of our own enlightenment and the direction in our own alignment, but also seeing that timelines, experiences, every single day is a new day, and anything can happen within the infinite realm of possibilities, but also in the state of connecting to your manifestations, and also finding out what you really want to represent and what you want to express from your state of being, from your state of connection, from that state of cognizance and awareness. So the ability to see that no matter what happens in your life, no matter what is going on in your life, it is always shifting and changing and transforming into something else that you're not quite aware of and that you're quite not ready to connect into it. But your allegiance to your free will and the freedom of expression and that state of connection and that state of emulation of prophetically projecting exactly what you want is the ability to see that everything is constantly shifting into the direction and the narrative and the theme and the constructs of your own manifestations being breathed into this awareness. So it's about what you are sending out. It's about your polarities of changing what you're sending out, what you're not sending out, and what you're not addressing. So the ability to see that everything in your current reality is always shifting in the direction of what you want to represent and what you want to connect into. So the ability here and now to see that everything is shifting and changing and growing and expanding into something else. So we can't really live the same day unless we assume or believe that we're living the same day. So if you really believe that you are a billionaire, or if you believe that you're really, really attractive, you can really believe that about yourself, and you will morph and change into the existence that you want to become in that moment. So it's kind of the ability to use that sense of belief, that sense of intention, that sense of assessment within what you're manifesting and generating within your own reality. It's just the ability here and now to see that everything in your life is being generated because it has to constantly shift and migrate into something that is representing something else. So it has to transmute, it has to be this transmission of energy being more in alignment with the direct source of energy that you want to become. So the ability to see that here and now, that I can change my state of being, I can change my thoughts, I can morph into a different existence if I want to. I can use a different set of belief systems. I can, in this moment, change my routine completely and change my reality. So sometimes it's the ability to see that when you're not drenched in routine, if you're not steeped in tradition, if you're not steeped in the way that everybody conducts themselves every single day, you will give yourself that insight of that clarity that will give you the sense of emulation, that sense of connection, that sense of resonance in the very fact that everything in your life continues to change, to shift, and to find its own direction, but also you're changing the configurations of energy that you're living in and giving yourself the ability to live in a constant state of gratitude, affirmation, breathing life within your space and adding more to your life and subtracting the other things that don't need to be there. So it's kind of giving yourself this distinction of that I can really believe the best out of my life, or I can choose not to believe the best out of my life. You have that distinction. So it's about giving yourself contrast, and it's giving yourself a different sense of being cause-driven, and it's giving you that sense of that intentionality, but also developing your instincts within your gut instincts. Because if you know it in your heart, if you know it in your divinity, if you know it within oneself that you need to do these things that you've been putting off, then that could generate a ripple effect within your own reality to kind of show you that life is changing, that life is migrating into something, that you are shifting with your own reality and you're actually listening to the universe instead of running away from the universe in a sense. Thank you for saying that. But it's being thankful, but also it's not forgetting who you are, because we can forget ourselves sometimes along the path because sometimes we feel lost. We feel like we've lost our consistency, our repetition, or we've forgot our intentionality or something. So it's just the ability to give us subtlety in our direction and what we want to be aware of, and not feeling like we have blinders on. So to feel like these big ass goggles are on your face and they're covering your face and you're just unwilling to see anything, right? You don't want to go around feeling like you have to like grab everything and you can't see, right? So we can give ourselves some clarity within that horrible analogy. So in that moment, we have to decipher what really works in our lives and what does not work in our lives. So if we keep doing something expecting the same result, we're just continuing and perpetuating insanity. So the way to target that insanity, the way to release that, is to see that once we shift and change a certain direction and change a certain circumstance and how we experience our situations and circumstances, then this elevates the state of energy of what we're entering into. So we become interdimensional. This means that we're using the wisdom, the knowledge, and the grandeur, and the grace, and the majesty from other dimensions, our higher self, our guides, and God, and using that as a bandwidth of creation. So we're actually led by something instead of the human mind. Now we're being led by our gut instincts. Because when you know something to be true, you know something has confirmation, you know that it's not just based in emotion, but it's based in intuition that comes in and gives you that psychic activation within yourself. And you see like, oh, this is what I need to do. This is the direction where I need to go. And it's not based on what a psychic gave you or a meditation that you did or one of your mentors. But you, in a sense, are listening to the key component of what the words of spirit, the spoken word of spirit, is speaking through you and channeling through you. So that's giving you a distinction of who you want to be in that moment. So it gives you a sense of like, oh, I can finally really act on this desire that I've been putting off. I can really see myself in a different scope of energy. I can kind of take a step back and see where I'm being bashful about manifesting this or meditating upon this, or maybe I'm being ungrateful towards my own life and maybe people in my own life. So it gives you a distinction about who you want to be in this moment. So in this moment, you can allow yourself to see that everything is constantly shifting. Everything is constantly changing. Everything is coming back into balance with your state of being that you want to represent as. So giving yourself this moment of clarity, of distinction, of resonance within yourself is giving you a sense of availability. You're available for reception. You're available to change. You're open to the idea of finding out the actions that change your life, but also the distinction of what you're currently projecting and changing the polarity of that and changing the energy of that and making you feel as if you're guided by intuition. This gives you a sense of ownership. This gives you a sense of realization. And this also gives you a sense that you're not just sitting on your couch and just saying a bunch of affirmations, but you're actually doing something about it. You're not pouting, you're not being negative towards it, but you're seeing that it has the possibility to really change in your favor. That timelines always shift, that existence has a reason to exist always. And that if we give into that and surrender into that and give ourselves the ability to see that in this moment, I can really make an emphatic change in my direction. So just because you're being reflected a lot of things doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong. It actually means that you're on the path and you're doing something right. A lot of people think, oh, I have reflections that make me feel bad. It's actually really good because you're looking at the things that are being reflected to you, and it's kind of giving you a sense of like understanding that, oh, I'm being reflected this so that I can mirror that back and reverse the reflections that are along the path. So give yourself that experience, but also you don't have to do things impulsively anymore, because now you see that everything in your reality, your timelines, your experiences, your ability to manifest and meditate upon the visualization of your peak moments and seeing that everything in your reality is constantly changing. So now you're in the absence of time. It means that time is not necessarily something that you hold on to or feel like you have to rush within your own reality. It means that you don't have to rush within your own reality. It means that you can have that quiet stillness of that subtlety to take into account that you can look at all the things in your life and just take it in that moment and see what is beautiful and what is transcendent and what is very motivating to accumulate more. To see that if you already have everything that you possess, it just gives you the ability to receive more within your spiritual mass, within that opening of that awakened state of consciousness. And that's what's beautiful about understanding that everything is constantly and emphatically shifting within the direction of new timelines, new doorways open. So when you're open to that, that means that no matter what happens in your life, we have to hold on to the beautiful state. No matter what's going on in our reality, no matter what happens, it just means that it's giving you the distinction to live in a beautiful state, no matter what. And if you can live in a beautiful state no matter what, then nothing can stop you within your current reality. So you become immovable, an unstoppable force. This means because you become a force of your own nature. You're choosing in this moment to not let the little things stop you within your life. And if you don't let the little things stop you in your life, then in that moment, you see that you can change and grow and extend within that source energy. So be a constant extension of the overarching change within your reality. If you're choosing to progress, if you're choosing to extend, and you're choosing not to bypass, then everything in your reality can come into the conclusion and the understanding that there is no conclusion, there is no end. So if we understand that there is no end, then we are an infinite intelligence that wants to know more about its autonomous knowledge to channel from your own space. So when you do that, then you can see that if you embrace the shift, if you embrace the connection every single day, then you'll just embrace Source no matter what. You'll embrace Source all the time. And if you choose to embrace Source and to accept and to have clarity, then there's nothing that you can't change in your life. But we can't do that when we're putting ourselves down or bypassing or running away or refusing. Just refuse the things that you don't want to experience. Have a low tolerance to the things that you don't want to experience. Or manifesting more karma, but give yourself that sense of a reset button and to see that every day is a new day, no matter what, you're going to live in a beautiful state, and that timelines, experiences, manifestations, meditations are just one step away from you just having acceptance quantumly in that state where everything's coming into migration. There is a maturation process along the path. So if we choose to mature, if we choose to open up, and we give ourselves that distinction of that contrast, that I'm changing what I'm putting out. I'm changing what I'm sending out. And in that moment, I just choose to live my best life. That's all it really is. It's just a choice to see that you are living your best life. You choose to live your best life, and you choose to give life to the space and what's been given and working from there. Working with what God gave you, in a sense. That's all we're really doing. That's all we really are just children of the light working with what God gave us. And trust me, it's not always easy. I'm not perfect, you're not perfect, but you don't have to be. And that's what's beautiful about life, is that you don't have to be perfect. And I'm not perfect either. But I am myself, I am a seeker. I want more. And even if you get to a state where you're kind of pissed off and frustrated, but then you get back to your center, that's beautiful. That's what it's there for, you know? Instead of being pissed off all day and just going along like that, but just, you know, being freaked out, pissed off, and then getting back to your center, entering the beautiful state. And then you see that everything just shifts. It may happen for a little bit. You may be clearing a past lifetime progression, but it's only just temporary. And that's what I'm going to finish with this live, is that everything is literally just temporary. That's all it is. Everything is just temporary. It's not forever, but it's always progression, it's always emulation, and it's always a prophetic change within our lives and transformation. And if we can be that living, breathing transmission of source energy, everything in our reality will continuously progress and change and become the extension of source energy. So So that will give us the ability to always change. So we're going to do some healing energy. I hope that you guys enjoy this healing energy and connect with me. We're going to experience some upgrades and connections and reflections of Source and a loving embrace of our connectivity. And I'm going to make sure that I don't sit in the way to where my legs fall asleep. And thank you so much for appreciating the message. But it's giving you the ability to know everything is temporary. There's infinite realms of possibilities. Your life can change in a heartbeat if you choose to surrender to it. Archangels of love and light, who's willing to cleanse us of our work field, tapping into God's source energy in the great I Am, diving deep into Middle Mother Gaia Earth, knowing that everything is temporary and knowing that everything is simultaneous. If we choose to surrender to the omnipresence of God, we will radiate from the Shekinah glory of God and find that distinction within the midst of the change, in the midst of the shift, in the midst of everything that we generate and create within ourselves. We can give that back to the planet and embrace this connectivity, this psychic autonomous knowledge that helps us embrace the atomic energies that are coming in, and being able to stretch ourselves and become more malleable on how we want to connect and how we want to resonate, and being able to open up to this prophecy, to this state of connection, to this state of emulation, and to this state to where we see that everything shifts and creates, and timeline shifts and experience shift, in that we can shift within our meditative guided state with our quantum telepathy, so activating the third eye here and now. If we choose to activate the third eye, the pineal gland, the crystals within our spines, and then we operate from a state of following our gut intuition. That gut intuition will always help you embrace discernment, embrace connection, but also hearing the spoken word of spirit. And if you hear that, if you speak that, if you live within it and demonstrate within it, then life will always change and grow and manifest itself, and you will unfold with it. If you choose to do this, life will always be what you want it to be. Life will always choose to be you, and you will always choose to not let life pass you by, but to have your way with life. So Jesus is going to give us a solar plex chakra activation. Saint Germain is going to clear the throat chakra. And also we're going to be connecting into spirit animals. We have the dog coming in, helping us with royalty, family life, and community life, having commitment to something. And then we have the cat's energy coming in, the 7th dimensional frequencies coming through, helping us to embrace our psychic protection, our authority, and our abilities to use our abilities of service. The Pegasus and the unicorn are helping us balance the energies of light and dark. This is helping us recognize source within our space, helping us to remember, and helping us become the vehicle of the higher self's wisdom. Being able to understand this is being able to live, to breathe, to live, laugh, and love, and to appreciate the infinite realm of possibilities. To see that even if you're healing, you are changing. It's all about what we send out and what we choose not to send out. Sometimes it's taking a step back in discernment and maybe not saying the thing that you want to talk about until it's ready to be time to talk about that specific thing. Sometimes letting things gel, having patience, and having surrender within that vulnerability gives you the moment to seize the opportunity courageously instead of doing things out of impulse. But this gives you a way to connect, a way to receive, and a way to allow. And it's just kind of simple. It's just living your life, but living your life within that meditative space. It doesn't have to have like a crazy grandeur about it, but it could just mean just watering the flowers. It could just mean vacuuming the house. It could mean just cooking dinner and then breaking bread with your family. That could be the gift of life. That could be the buffet of source in a sense. It's kind of like you have, your cinnamon cake, you have your mashed potatoes, you have the roast, and it could be just like a charcuterie board of sorts. But it also could be the projector screen of creation, and you can think of it in that way. Just adding what needs to be there, what needs to be placed there, and just, that's it. That's all you have to do. It's just, no matter what happens in your life, no matter what happens, you live within a beautiful state. I am the beautiful state. I choose to be the beautiful state. The beautiful state is I. So everybody take one last deep breath. Exhale. You are the oracle of love, light, and wisdom, which is God manifested in human form. And so it is. So I hope that really blessed you guys. Thank you for being a part of the live and connecting with me once again. If you feel led to book private sessions, it's 30 minutes for $50, 45 minutes for $85. Go to my YouTube channel, White Wolf Oracle Love, Light, and Wisdom. 727-404-6559 is my phone number. Text me if you want to book a private session. And also, whitewolf143@icloud.com. And yeah, I'll be going live around 10 or 11 p.m. Eastern doing readings, healings, activations. So thank you guys for doing this live with me. Thank you for connecting. And until next time, this is White Wolf. See you guys.